Just want to keep an open mind here. We have a new fusion coming to Raid very soon, and I want to know your thoughts and opinions. I'm going to tell you mine. You know I will. But she looks freaking sweet. We can all agree on that right at the beginning of the video. Anyway, let's go.
I got your picture, I'm coming with you, dear Maria, come in.
Obviously, there's a story at the bottom and you're the pen. But what's up, guys? MtgJedi here. How you doing today? Yeah, we're talking about a new fusion, Maria, and she is going to be in the Undead Hordes. So, I want to mention right at the beginning of the video here that Undead has a lot of great options, but it also has a lot of very mediocre legendaries. So if you need a damage dealer in this faction, this might be for you. If you want to skip a fusion, this also might be for you. But, you know, I think that every fusion, every event in Raid is really up to you. But I think I might need to do a full video on, man, I just don't think Plarium's very good at Halloween events and the Halloween fusion. It seems like the easiest, like, softball throw of all time, but they're not good at it. I don't know why. Tell me I'm wrong, please. I would love to be wrong on this matter. But in terms of epic damage dealers, before I get into her kit, everybody gets Dark Elhain. Dark Elhain can carry the faction, at least in normal faction wars, and she's really good. Also, a lot of people build Seeker, and Seeker can be built for damage and accuracy. He's great. So we do have a couple epic options here. In general, the epics suck for damage, but in terms of legendaries, we have some good ones as well. Little Miss Annie comes to mind. Obviously, we have Rhodos, the Beast, and you can make do with Vlad and Valkanen. If you have Heraclides, I think he's a cool one that can be used. And then there's some options, if you don't have any of those, that can be good for damage as well. Saito, Bloodgorged, Nethril. Obviously, Mashald's good. I forgot to mention him as well. But I think that this fusion is definitely geared towards being a damage dealer. That's why I wanted to talk about these. Obviously, if you have Calamitous, you're good to go. But let's jump in. Let's talk about the fusion now that we have a little bit of context. So you can gauge, like, if you don't have any of those champions, this might be a fusion for you to go for. If you have all of those champions, maybe you don't need to do that. But I think that one champion that we're going to be able to compare her to is some recent fusions and some champions that are very good. I was going to just put the image on screen and continue the video, but the image I'm replacing is pretty relevant here. Our last fusion was Granite, or as I like to call him, Granny T. You can't unhear it. I'm sorry. I just ruined your life. But his A3 ignores Stoneskin, and what we're going to see here is that our new fusion, Maria, does that same thing. Now, her kit is very different, and I would go so far as to say I like him way better. However, a lot's going to be determined on the multipliers. But anyway, MTG, gets to the point, show them the fusion. All right, we have Sanguine Maria, and I don't know if I've ever been more excited for the animations on a champion. Okay, that's a lie. Obviously, I was excited to see the turtle animations. They're freaking amazing. Well done. But we have tentacles coming out of portals. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I really do like the, like, Cthulhu, Hellboy type settings. And this seems freaking sweet. She's got two kind of boring daggers. But she kind of does look like another undead bride, so maybe she's like fighting for control of the undead hordes with Sifi or something. That could be a cool storyline. But I think that the tentacles coming out of portals, that's peak Raid Shadow Legends right there. You'll notice she's a legendary attack damage dealer, and she's a force damage dealer, which I don't know. I don't think I really have a lot of good force damage dealers on my account either. If we take a look, actually, just because I'm curious, I do have Xena, but I don't ever use her. Thalin and Nishak would probably be the best examples here. I don't have any mythical champion that would be force, but I wouldn't want to count that in here. So, like, if you're looking for a force-based damage dealer, I mean, there's not that many options if I'm being honest. I never really tested out Mountain King, as you can see with him missing gear here. And I do have an insane Candraphon, but I just, you know what? He's pretty fitting, you know. He's the little cephalid over here, so maybe like they're best friends or something. I wonder if Candraphon's the long lost husband of Maria. Anyway, getting back, man, I'm so ornery this morning. Okay, but anyway, what I'm saying is, I think that there is validity to this champion, okay? But what you're going to see is shenanigans, okay? You're going to see shenanigans that I don't understand why we need to jump through these hoops. If you take a look at her A1, I love her A1. Her A1's great. She is a triple hitter. She has a 33% chance of getting an extra turn, but she can't get more than one extra turn. Love it. Love it. It's a high chance. It's almost guaranteed, some would say. But that is going to be an amazing ability, okay? And then her A2 here is what I'm talking about with Granite. The, like, ignore stone, skin, and block damage stuff, which makes Unkillable pretty good. Unkillable making a comeback here. Will ignore 99% of the target's defense, stone, skin, and block damage. But you have to manipulate her to go third. You have to make her go third. Which, I just, like, okay, that's like a neat concept, but why? Why are we adding that stipulation? Either way, she'll ignore 33% of the damage, but, like, having her go in the third spot, it's pretty easy to do. I don't know that we want to be doing that. It's just annoying. Like, that's not a fun mechanic. But anyway, it is a powerful mechanic. And if you kill them, so presumably she can have good multipliers, who knows? If you kill them, then this effect can't be resisted and she puts their skills on cooldowns by 3 turns. That's great. It's really great. It's kind of like Lazarius type of ability where you're putting their skills on cooldowns combined with the Georgid, Granite style, ignore what's, making them not be able to die. But you need an awful lot of damage to get through somebody's defense and stone skin and whatnot. You need a lot. You can't just have mediocre multipliers. But if you're ignoring 100% of their defense and stone skin, theoretically, she should shred them to pieces. This single target ability. Now, this is not going to go well on a Shu Zen style team. But if you're doing something like Sifi Armands and then her, or you're doing Arbiter, Fabian, and her, or you're just doing 2 turn meter boosters, Arbiter and Jorg, or Arbiter and Gorgrab, and then into her, Arbiter and Deacon into her, something like that. And then you have another damage dealer to kill all the rest of the targets, like Michelangelo or someone. Maybe you just got a Raphael and you want to use him. There's, an infinite number of damage dealers in this game. I'm sure you have some of them. But I think this ability could be cool. But if you get out of the turn order, like if somebody messes with your turn meter, then you're not going to be able to pull this off. And that is really bad. That's really bad. And I think that people are just not going to want to jump through the hoops. So I think that there are some really cool things in the game that are going to pair with her. We'll get back to that after we look at the rest of her kit here. So, Gore Scream, before attacking, removes all buffs from all enemies. I thought this was an AoE attack because it removes all the buffs from all enemies. It does not. It is a single target attack as well. This effect cannot be resisted by enemies with a number of buffs that is divisible by 3. Specifically, CP puts 3 buffs on people. However, there's shields and stone skin, and this is impossible. This is impossible. Maybe sometimes it'll come up. This is not a good ability. If you get to strip their buffs, okay, but like, yuck. And then grants an extra turn if this champion is under a number of buffs that's divisible by 3. So specifically, pairing her with Sifi does seem very good. If you are going to use her with someone else, then you would want those 2 champions to combine for 3 buffs. Like you could do Arbiter and Lady Kimmy, for example. That would give you 3 buffs. Plus, she's an attack-based champion, so maybe that would be better anyway. Sifi does not give increased attack. But this is just a lot of effort. It is a lot of effort in order to make sure that all of these 3s are happening on your turn. And I just don't know if that's worth it. Alright, so anyway, she grants an extra turn if she's under a number of buffs that's divisible by 3. So, you can theoretically, like Roto style, pick people off. Okay, and then let's take a look at this passive here. What a bunch of text. So, the passive, each subsequent hit from this champion deals 33% more damage, stacks up to 99, resets after the 99 damage bonus is applied. Each subsequent hit this champion receives deals 33% less damage. So the more hits she takes, the less damage she takes. And then she'll get a complete damage reduction, which is going to be, like, if people are using her against you, you're going to feel like she is unkillable. At least that's what it seems like. When you're using her, it's going to be like, how can I ever make her do what she's supposed to do? Whenever an enemy is revived, revives this champion with 33% HP, 66% turn meter. After being revived, places a true fear on all enemies for 2 turns, which can't be resisted or blocked. I do like that part. And she has an attack in all battles aura. Okay, dear Maria, tell me how good you are. And you guys tell me how good she is in the comments as well. I think that she's going to be very good with the Gore Crescent Relic. I think she'll be good with when you kill an enemy type of effects to pair with her. I think that she'll be really good with the Stone Cleaver gear set and or what's the other one? The Blessing that gives bonuses to hitting people with stone skin would be pretty good on her as well. And I will say, if you want to know my opinion, yes, I'm going to go for her, but I do not think this is a champion that I would want to use. This seems infuriating to me, and I just don't want to subject myself to this nonsense. I don't understand why we have to do all of this, why we have to jump through these hoops. Let me tell you who this reminds me of, and you can tell me if you agree. He reminds me of my dude, Khan. This branch breaker, I was so pumped about, guys. I was so thrilled about him. He has this sweet ability where you're trying to set up like shields and how his defense is. He's a defense-based champion. He has block revive on the A1. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's do this. We'll like build a team around him. And at the end of the day, he's just too hard to use. He's too hard to use. You never get everything set up perfectly. And then he ends up being like extremely mediocre. That's exactly how I think that Maria is going to play out. She's going to, once in a while, she's going to kill people. And then most of the time, she's going to seem very mediocre. Khan, I will always have a special place in my heart for you, my dude. You're my bro. I love you. I think your axe and your gauntlet are freaking sweet. We're collecting heads on our shield. All of it. I'm here for it. As for Maria, I feel like it's the same way. And we're going to get caught in this endless cycle of threes, trying to make it work every 3 turns, all of this stuff. But she's a cool champion, and I'm definitely going to get her. So let me know what you think, and we will start this October fusion. And then probably, I don't know, are you skipping this? Anyway, let's wrap it up. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. You are now a subscriber to the channel, right? You made it all the way to the end of this interesting video, and you hit the subscribe button. Here's the ending.